You guys remember that one time? I guess the cat's officially out of the bag. Dodge called us up and asked us if we wanted to go for round 2 in the Roadkill Nights grudge match. Which of course we said yes.
Because we're insane.
Because we're insane, a little bit, yeah. Well, you know, it's only like 100 degrees out, Florida summer, why not?
What do you mean? I'm not even sweaty at all.
In the summer, we just build Dodge trucks.
Yeah, it's kind of what we do. It's our thing now, build Dodge trucks in the summer.
This summer it might be 2. That's a whole nother story. We will show you the other one later. As far as Roadkill Nights is concerned, we get to use the same truck, which is very exciting because we love this truck. You know, it's a bit of a winner.
It's once or twice, or
once
three
or
times,
twice.
4 times maybe.
We've put 6,000 miles on this truck and 50 passes, so you know, what's a few more?
It's broken in, you know?
So the difference for this year, we have a working truck. You might be asking, well, what are you guys gonna do? Well, there's no rules. It's outlaw style this year. So we are finally allowed to start modifying some things and changing some things up on the truck, which we have a loose plan for. We're still working on some things.
Yeah, we've got some ideas, some tricks up our sleeve, but we're not gonna get too far into that.
Yeah, some competitors might be watching, so we don't want to let it all out. You know what I mean? We're gonna do some things to the truck itself because it could use some upgrades, and then we're gonna do some things to the Hurricane. So you want to get into that?
Yeah, let's do it. First things first, we built this truck last year. We had Mosier Engineering build us a really awesome rear end. It's an 8 3/4 fab housing. Very nice piece. One of the things we did is we had them narrow it slightly. So that way we could fit a pretty common off-the-shelf wheel on it with the stock wheel tubs and all that. With that in mind, we want to widen the wheel. We're going to go to a 12-inch wide wheel. So we're going in about 1.5 inches. So that's going to require us to mini tub it. That's going to be step 1.
So we're going to keep the factory tubs and we're just going to space them out.
Yeah, we're essentially going to cut them out, cut into the bedside, pull them out, and then put a filler panel in there. And when we're done, it should look relatively stock.
Yeah.
It's an OEM piece.
We're not adding too much because surprisingly this truck can fit a pretty big wheel. The frame rails are really tucked far in.
Yeah.
So that's not a problem.
Yeah, the width of the frame is only about, I believe it's like 33 inches or something. It's very narrow, so it's nice for what we're trying to do here. Back on 66, we had some issues with the tire was actually rubbing the inside, so I kind of had to get the hammer in there and clearance it a little bit.
You can see where the paint's falling off a little bit.
Yeah.
That's because he hammered it.
Yeah, we were originally running a small slip-on spacer just to try to get it to fit the way we wanted it to, but once it started bending wheel studs and all that, we had to get away from that. And that's actually another point of changing the wheels. This is more of a street wheel, and we're going to a shank style lug nut and all that. So it's going to be really, really nice once that's all done.
And of course we ordered some Kaisers because they are the best.
Go-to. Yeah, they're the go-to, and we're really excited to show you guys those.
Yeah, they're coming from KOTV Motorsports. Houston is the guy to go to for some Kaisers. He's great. So hopefully we should have those pretty soon.
We're a couple of weeks in, I think.
A couple of weeks in.
Yeah. So that's step 1. The next thing we're gonna do is the cage. Because when we originally did this, again, there wasn't any real safety rules, and we were only racing 400 feet at Roadkill.
Also, we didn't think it was gonna be as fast as it was.
Well, yeah, let's be honest. So we just did a roll bar, you know, it's just the main hoop, diagonal bar, and some door bars. We whipped it up really fast just to try to, if there was any kind of incident, it helped a little bit, you know. Moving on from that, we raced the truck quite a bit, and it's turned out to be way faster than we expected. Like, we were gonna be happy with low 11s. You know, the truck's a little lighter than we expected, and it makes more power than we expected. So the truck's been best to date of, what, 10, 11 at 130, 131?
131. Yeah. That was the last pass that I made, I think.
During sick week, I was racing the truck, and I was teched in, you know, whatever, but towards the end of the week, they came and yelled at me because I didn't have down bars for the back of the cage.
I don't think they expected it to be as fast as it was.
No one, they kind of just brush it off because it doesn't seem like it's that fast. So long story short, we're gonna do down bars and do a whole halo, basically turn it into an 850 cage.
What we're gonna try and do here, instead of going through the back glass area and replacing it with Lexan, is to try and go through the top.
Right.
Because there's a lot of material there.
Yeah, right in this area, so that way we can tie into the main hoop and then do the little halo and come down to the dash.
So it's literally just the roll bar back there.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't be too hard to add on to. The hardest part, like we just talked about, is going to be this back here. We know the glass is heavy and all that, and honestly it would probably make sense to go to Lexan,
Right.
but I don't know. I like having the
Again,
glass.
this is a real life street truck, not like some pro mod that people drive on the street once a month
And then
say
call
it's
it a street car.
No,
Yeah.
we drive it to like the store and stuff, and we love this thing. So we're gonna try to keep all the glass in it. We are going to try to tastefully remove some more weight. Like for example, it's got the heater and AC stuff all under the dash still. Like it is 100% stock.
We really didn't have any time last year to
Yeah.
touch the weight. We kind of just threw it together and we're like, all right, we got to go.
Yeah, it's a blower motor and everything's in there and still works. Ironically, on sick week, it was cold when we went up to Georgia, so I had to try to do the defroster and all that stuff, so it was kind of handy for that. But it's all gonna go this time, and to be honest, I'm probably gonna harvest some of those parts for the terrible other that we'll talk about more later.
Don't look at it too hard.
Yeah, it's gonna.
It's bad.
Might pull the door panels off, go into the doors a little bit. Again, it's all stock. I don't even know if these trucks don't have door speakers, I don't think. If it does, they're still in there.
Just little stuff here and there. We're not the kind of people to just be like cutting out random giant pieces of things and making a mess and hacking it up. So we're gonna do it very tastefully, but it definitely could shed a few pounds.
Yeah.
So now for the fun part. This is where we have kind of a loose plan because, this is still a brand new platform, so nothing really exists for it. So we're kind of left to our own devices here as far as figuring out what we're gonna do.
And like I said before, we do have a lot of tricks up our sleeves, but we don't want to get too far into that just yet. We will give the basics, and because it's not rocket science here, it's a turbo engine, turbo 6-cylinder, it's only a 3-liter. So it's basically boost, charge air, stuff of that nature. So we will probably be addressing the turbo situation. We will probably be addressing the intake situation. For now, all I will say is it's going to be all custom stuff, most likely by us here in-house.
So, luckily, we know how to stick some metal together. We have some experience with turbo engines.
Yes.
A little bit.
Yes, and I've been building my own turbo manifolds for a few years now, so that's more than likely the route we're going to go. So other than that, we don't want to get too far into it, but that's the game plan.
Yeah, there will be some changes, but that's about all we can tell you.
That's right.
But it will be interesting. But it gives us a chance to kind of do something with the skills that we do have, because last year they wanted us to keep it stock, so we went all out, even kept the stock airbox and left it as stock as we possibly could. So this year it'll be fun to kind of explore a little bit and see what we can do with it. So we're not trying to get that crazy with it. What do you say our goals are?
If we could make another 50 to 100 horsepower, we would be probably ecstatic, because this truck works really good as it is. We're not trying to set the world on fire with some horsepower records or anything like that, because again, this race is it's on the street. If you make a whole bunch of power or have something that's super laggy, you're not gonna get down the street. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah, it's not even a full 1/8 mile. So, we want something that gets down right off the line and works.
Yeah, exactly. And again, it's kind of a max effort setup right now. It's got the factory turbos cranked to the moon. It makes a lot of boost. We do something that's a little more free flowing, a little less load on the engine, and change some other things, maybe stall speed, what have you. Just things to take some peak torque out of it, if that makes sense.
In theory, it'll make it a lot safer for the long run, because we don't plan on taking this Hurricane out anytime soon. We love it. We've honestly been more than impressed with it.
Yeah.
Like at the beginning, we didn't really know what to think, for one, because it's brand new. You never know what's going to happen. But I don't know, it's beyond what we were expecting in a good way.
Yeah, it's really solid. Like they did a good job designing this thing. As it is, it works just really well. So we're going to be extremely cautious on how we modify it, because again,
we're not trying to go too far, because there is a line where you can push it too far.
Mm-hmm. And it happens very often.
And then you're like, wait a minute, I got to turn around.
Yeah.
We've been there. We've actually done that. So we are treading carefully. Don't want to ruin this truck. We love it. It works really well. It works really well at the track. Honestly, we're just trying to get a little bit more out of it, and make it a little safer. So just like last summer, we'll be doing a full build series on the truck on YouTube and on Instagram. We're gonna show everything from the truck upgrades to the Hurricane upgrades. And if you have any interest in the Hurricane, I would stick around because we're gonna be seeing what it's capable of, seeing what kind of parts we can create for it and all that fun stuff. We'll be back at Roadkill Nights August 9th, so mark that on your calendar. But until next time, we'll see you later.
See y'all later.